Alright, let's get this back up and going. Really would be nice to get a debate in here. It's awfully quiet. It's awfully quiet. All of a sudden, they don't have anything to say about no new wars. Awfully quiet. Steve, come on, Steve. Steve. All right, there we go. But that's not a real war. It's not a real war. Why would you think it's a real war? Sorry, guys. OBS lagged out. We're back. Oh, that guy jumped in and then jumped out. Damn. They were peaceful bombs? They were just landscaping, okay? hit the desert instead. Yeah. I think what's happening is, like, on a daily basis, Trump is getting harder to defend. Like, I think it's been getting that way for a while, and then MAGA was finally, like, with this one, they were like, oh shit, okay. And there was a split. But also reinforcing the schism is the fact that Russian bot farms are regurgitating propaganda at them about how Trump's bad and for doing this. So it's like an interesting thing where you literally get to watch Russian propaganda take on American and Israeli propaganda in real time within the Republican Party. This is going to be par for the course. We're going to watch this a lot. We're going to watch this a lot. A lot. We're going to see this in the future where different propagandist wings are fighting with each other. In this instance, like, Russia's pissed. They're going to promote information that undermines the U.S. efforts in Iran. And there's going to be MAGA that are, you got to remember, these bot farms are inundated among social networks. So it's not like the people that they're listening to that are telling them how bad this is are like people they just tuned into. They're people they've been listening to for years. Or their Twitter accounts, or their different groups that are inundated by bots. And they're bots they've been listening to in Russian bot farms for years. So yeah, they're going to have some trust for them. And it'll be interesting how it plays out. Ooh, sorry. Yeah. Hop in the box. That didn't go live either, did it? Man, this 2-stream setup thing is a bitch. Okay, there we go. Which David? Democrats for Trump? Yeah, David, he got blocked out of the other live because he wouldn't join. Because I was going to ask him one question. Do you remember what that question was? He told me one time something I remember very vividly. I guess I could tell it because he's not going to join because he's a coward because he knows what I'm going to ask. But basically, David said that when Trump comes to office, he was going to bring the information of the 2020 fraud out. He was going to release it. That has not happened. And he ain't been back since. You can't hear Paige? No. No, they're just saying they can't hear you. I can hear you. Okay, wait, can you talk?
I can talk.
Okay, can you hear
Hopefully they
Paige
can hear
now?
me now.
I think they can.
Yeah,
Yeah, they can. It
I
was
think
my.
you're
It was a
fine now.
setting issue on mine. Sorry.
Oh, no. Is
Sorry. It
that
was.
YouTube?
Yeah. Cause I. Ooh, Jaden's here. Cause I switched out the audio input capture. So it's what it's called. It's an audio input as opposed to a capture card input. Supposedly, it's supposed to fix the audio issues for the delay. Um, I don't know that it's done that well, but we'll have to see. Jaden, ready? A.
Yep.
A.
B.
C.
D.
Oh, damn, it's fixed. Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually better.
Wow. Holy shit. It was literally one thing. I was like, there's got to be a solution. It was like Reddit from like a month ago or a few months ago. Someone was like, yeah, do this. I was like, sweet. So, but I switched up the input. That solved the feedback issues, I think, or the issues for that. So we'll see. We'll see. If you guys are over on TikTok, you guys want to go ahead and double tap the screen. See if we can get up to 50K likes. If you guys want to support the channel, you can sub over on, let me update that thing here. You can sub over on TikTok, or you can sub over on Twitch or Patreon in the link tree if you guys want to watch the playbacks, or tier 2 on YouTube if you want to watch the playbacks. You can sub to any one of the platforms, and it does support and help us out here.
That's right. I'm still banned for a week for some reason.
All right, I updated this sub goal. But if you sub over on, we have a 20 sub goal in the morning, and if you sub over on TikTok, it's 2. It'd be nice if we kept hitting it, because it does help the channel out. So, would appreciate it.
Absolutely. We'll hit it like I hit Eric. But let me tell you about that background. It says, what happened to no new wars? It says wars, okay? Wars. We're allowed to have one. I think that's fair. You're being so nasty to me.
Is it really a war? Is it really? I think we just dropped big bombs on a country.
It's just a war crime.
It's just a single war. It's not multiple. We were talking about multiple wars we weren't going to have. It's true.
We could have one. It's singular, okay? Check your grammar.
Dude, is your what was it? Thanks Mega for increasing the price of gasoline and food. Have you seen the
His ransom note?
I was gonna say gas prices are fucking insane right now.
Yeah, I was traveling down LA the other day. It was actually, I have a picture of it. I don't know that I have live access here for the camera, but it was $6.89 in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
I'd never seen it
skyrocketing,
hit a
right?
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going up where I am too. So that's fun. We hit 550 here
Scary.
during the height. Maybe we'll get that high
Yeah.
again. It's gonna go up though.
Most I've ever seen was a 5 something, but 6. Christ. Little
But
sadistic
6.
there.
Yeah. You sent me a couple more edits. I'll get you DM me on Insta, and I'll get you into that the YouTube today. I'm still working on a bunch of other stuff, so it's gonna be a minute before I can pull all those off. But yeah. All right. Do we have any debates? We have 575 people in here. Nobody's
Not bad
hopping
for a
into
morning.
debate. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty decent. You know, we got YouTube up over too. Anyway. Kathleen, appreciate it for the membership over on YouTube. I'll add that in. All right, so we got to talk about Iran. We haven't talked about Iran yet.
Yep.
Feel like I should make this a segment. We have to talk about Iran. We have not talked about Iran yet. I'm going to record this. All right. Let's talk Iran. Let's talk Iran. Let's talk the bombing. So first things first, it does not look like it was an effective bombing at Fordow, which is the main enrichment site for Iran. Looks like it was a failure. The IAEA stated that there's no nuclear contamination in the ground, so it's not likely that it actually struck the enrichment facility. Also, it kind of giving credence to that, Iran is stating that they moved everything a while ago, is what they said, which you're going to talk about bombing this site for, I mean, like, it doesn't take a genius. They knew the bombing was coming, so, and they've known if Trump was coming in office, that's probably what was going to happen. At any rate, it wasn't effective. It's pissed off everyone in the region, and a lot of other countries are pissed. We have now, Iran is almost certainly going to amp up funding of these groups. And we're in a precarious position. A couple of things. Are we going to be bombed? Probably not. I would find that really difficult to believe. We're not going to go to war, boots on the ground. If we did, it would be a cataclysmic disaster. I think that would be really stupid for even Trump. So I don't think we have to worry about that stuff. But also, interestingly enough, Trump, I guess, activated sleeper cells in the United States. I'm not really sure what to take, because they're saying, well, there's Iranian sleeper cells in the United States. This is what's coming out on MAGA Media. Doesn't that mean he just activated sleeper cells in the United States?
No, because they're asleep, like Sleepy Joe.
Isn't that like, wouldn't that be a thing?
Yeah. I mean,
That'd be the logical deduction.
logically speaking, right.
He activated sleeper cells, because suddenly they're concerned now. There's activated sleeper cells.
Well, he's deporting them.
Yeah. So, at any rate, internationally, this is going to cause a lot of strife. The oil market's going to be messed up. They're now rerouting ships away from Yemen. And they're going to have to go. It's actually, this is interesting because it helps out China a lot, because China has a major port on the south of the Horn of Africa. So interestingly enough, moving stuff away from the Suez Canal only goes to benefit them. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
they're
kind of
blocking
what we
US
have
ships
going
from the
on.
Red Sea right now.
Yeah.
Threatening to bomb anyone that comes through there.
Yep. So there's issues with that.
We during C-19 we saw, remember that tanker
Yeah, I got stuck.
beached
The one that was
itself,
stuck.
and how that ripple effect of all the stuff that was ruined, that was on that tanker, and how it affected worldwide the supply chain issues. Can you imagine that happening again, but like on purpose? You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
would be wild.
Yeah. I mean, that's a major port. What is it? 15% of global trade goes through that canal. 15%.
Yeah.
So it's major. Also, Iran produces 4.5% of all oil globally. So who knows what's going to happen there? Yeah. This is a situation that can evolve into global conflict. Now, do I think that this is going to be the start of World War III? Probably not. I mean, you never know what sparks it off. It's always stupid stuff that sparks off major wars. Always is. It's usually bubbling tension. I don't know that we're there yet. Because, like, I don't think it's going to be World War III. I do think, however, that there's going to be a lot more strife in the Middle East than there otherwise would have been. And the concern for me is that Iran already knows that these things are effective, right? Like funding the Houthis to disrupt shipping lanes, funding Hezbollah, Hamas, whoever else. What are the other groups? They know it's effective. My fear is that they start funding them a lot more and in different ways and get creative with it, and then they learn some new, completely fucked up way. Sorry for the language, but completely messed up way to create mayhem. Because this is usually what happens. Is, you know, the instance with Russia, right? Where they, what was that project, or the military drill in Texas that they got everybody to believe and the governor to respond to and send the National Guard to? That was a troll. They were just like, we're going to put this out. And they were shocked that it worked. Where they just put out disinformation and Americans ate it up. Right? In the same way, like, I'm very concerned that Iran is going to find some new messed up way to fund one of these groups. And they're going to cause significant disruption to something. I hope that that's not the case, but regardless of whether or not that happens, there is going to be a significant amount of strife going on in the area with Houthis, with Iranian proxy groups, and expect them to get funded more. So at least the minimum to that. It's going to disrupt shipping lanes. Iran is going to have to make a scene. There's no doubt about this. But ultimately, I don't think it'll result in another war. One, the United States government is stupid, but going back for another time, I don't think anybody's that dumb. Going back to the Middle East, terrible idea. Terrible. We'd basically just be supporting a country of 90 million people. And, you know, we know how that goes. So, Russia is too preoccupied with Ukraine. China is, you know, I think they're pretty friendly with Iran. But they have their own wants in the South China Sea that they're not going to get distracted by. So, and also, you know, China does rely on those shipping lanes ultimately, even though it's not, you know, unadvantageous.
Hang on.
So, anyway, that's what's going on. I don't think it's going to result in World War III. Sorry. I don't think it's going to result in World War III, but we'll just sort of have to see how it evolves and see what happens. Expect there to be a lot of different attacks in various different ways, and yeah. They invited him right as I was recording. 1 second.
I didn't do it.
One second. All right, Trailblazer, what's going on? What's your take?
All right, so did Iran have nuclear capability or not?
No.
Then Israel has no legitimate reason to attack them. Case closed.
Okay.
Okay, are you debating?
I mean,
Don't think so.
no, I'm just curious of what, like, wait, are we debating? Is that what this is about?
It's a debate
Yeah,
stream, yeah.
When you have the Punisher logo.
I see, I see. Oh, yeah, I mean, I support the soldiers that are taking out the human traffickers.
What does that have to do with this?
What do you mean have to do with this? Old
What I just
wars are about
asked.
human trafficking, natural resources, you know, and testing out new weapons.
No, it's not. Can you name one war where we liberated people from human trafficking?
Not you guys.
Okay,
Listen,
then
if you
who
don't know
guys?
about the deep state or the swamp or anything like that, then you
who
know,
are you
then you
referring
have
to
zero
then?
idea what's
Listen,
going on in
dude,
the world.
You've got a size large tinfoil hat on right now, but if you can answer that question.
First of all,
Which war?
you got a size little
Absolutely
peepee.
not.
You have
Excuse
no idea
me.
how
Once you go
strong
black,
our
that's what
bumps
they
are.
say. But listen, you can't out-Trump me, okay, baby boy? Now sit your ass down.
You got a good Trump
It is
Wow,
tremendous.
dude.
It
impersonate.
is true.
Anyways, what are you talking about, man? When have we ever liberated people? And who was the we?
The white hats, military white hats.
The white hats. Wait, but you're against the deep state, so wouldn't that fall into that category?
No.
They're doing the bidding of them.
It's no, Jesus. You always think, okay, when it comes to the Democrats, I mean, I get it. You guys
not a
created the
Democrat.
KKK, and what,
does
you
that have to
liberal?
do- What the fuck does that have to do with what we're talking about, man?
You gotta understand history
You
so
know
you
what a
don't
red
repeat it,
herring
man.
is? That's a red herring.
So you're a liberal, huh?
No.
Who did you vote for?
Where
I
are
said
you?
no.
You running from the cops? What are you breathing so
I
heavy?
mean, just sit down.
Ah, I'm walking, man. Gotta walk. I'm carrying a bag here. Bump, bump.
I had a terrible joke, but all right.
Go ahead, tell the
Okay.
joke.
Well, we gotta be careful of
No.
the content
I'm not gonna say
moderation.
that.
Sorry.
Oh,
go
okay, okay.
ahead.
We can't do that.
Bless you.
Oh my God. You conservatives created the KKK? You really believe that? Man, you
Yeah,
really failed
conservatives
history.
did create the KKK. Wait,
Yeah,
are
you failed
conflating?
history.
Just a second. Are you conflating liberal with Democrat?
Yes.
I mean, are you for unaliving of children?
Well, that does not at all answer my fucking question, man.
That's
We're
my
talking about the
question.
Confederacy. We're talking about the Confederacy.
So
Are you capable of
painful.
staying on one subject?
Hey, you're the one bringing in liberals here.
You brought up abortion for some reason, and the KKK for some reason, even though we were talking
Yeah,
about
it's called
war.
Planned Parenthood. Heard of it?
Okay, that was not the question. Also, Margaret Sanger didn't invent abortion. But anyways,
No,
my question
no,
was...
no, no.
Hey, shut up! My question
Oh,
was,
you are a
is
rude one.
Democrat... Yes, I am. Is Democrat and liberal synonymous terms?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that question?
Are...
Is the Democrat?
No, nah. In fact, fuck off.
I love when they say you're so rude when they're the one that are over talking. Just like take a breath,
No,
guys.
I won't fucking stay on one singular subject.
Sorry, getting into some stuff here. All right. If you're debating, hop on in the box. Would appreciate it. See if we can get a debate in here. That was Unhinged, as we like to call it. Unhinged. Unhinged is all hell. Dark, appreciate the $2. Sleeper cell thing is the same as Iraq. Baseless. Appreciate it. Thank you. Andreu, appreciated Dark Host Theory. Russia gives Iran a small nuclear boom boom and they use it in Israel. Andreu, appreciate it. I don't think so, but I mean they could. They could. But I don't think so.
Anyone want to hop in?
They're gonna exchange blows and. What is this? Oh. Will the draft be back? It is funny to me that like a minute ago Republicans were like, get ready to get drafted to go to Ukraine. Why don't you go fight in Ukraine? I'm gonna fucking use that against them. Why don't you go fight in fucking Iran? What are you doing here? Go be a fucking hero.
Well, no. I have bone spurs.
Well.
It's gonna be my excuse next time somebody tells me to get drafted. Can't
gonna be
bone
your-
spurs.
Can't bone spurs. Just using what the.
Sorry. Foot
for
hurts.
all the-
Couldn't tell you which one.
For all the new
What's
people that have come in, can you make sure that you hit that orange heart next on the upper left next to Dude's name? Dude, please, because that
Dude.
helps. Yeah, that helps get the live on the FYP. Yeah, the AI likes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys, by the way, we do have a 20 sub goal on the morning. We got 2 out of 20. If you sub on TikTok, it does count as 2 though, because it's more expensive. So.
Oh yeah. Quick reminder, whether you're subbed or not, this will work. If you tap on the comment bar at the bottom and then tap on the heart, you'll see all the stickers that are available. And then if you go down, you scroll up, if you scroll up, you'll see this plus sign and it says like a suggestion. So you guys can put pictures in there and submit it, and it'll go to Tommy and it'll give him a suggestion for adding your sticker.
Oh, I don't
It's
have it
pretty
set
cool.
up on
It's
this one
pretty cool
yet,
feature.
but it will be. I can get it set up today. I don't have it set up on this one yet. But yeah, tomorrow. I might go back to the other account. I don't know. I gotta check to see which one needs to get monetized. I might have to go back to the main one for a minute. I don't want
Mr.
to.
Bean,
I don't want to be on the main.
you got noise.
Too much noise. I don't think they meant to join. I don't think they meant to join. All right, what else we got going on in the news?
There's a Russian air attack. Killed 9 in Kyiv.
Is there... Someone said that Qatar... U.S. Braces for missile attack on Qatar air base. Remember, everyone that dies as a result of this is Trump's fault.
Yep.
Say their names.
No one
Remember
is
that.
around
Say
you.
their names. Just literally keep... If they're going to fucking play the game... They blame Biden for the shit that happened in Afghanistan, despite the fact that that was not his fucking fault at all. They blame him for that shit, though.
Here's a headline that I found frankly humorous. This is from Reuters. Putin says U.S. strikes on Iran are pushing world to, quote, very dangerous line. When the genocidal maniac in the room is the one that's disagreeing with you, then how far have we really sunk as a society? Hitler says we've gone too far.
Oh, you want to, speaking of Shitler, you know who made a video? I think it may have been in the mod chat. I don't know. I saw Nick Fuentes. He's like, oh,
Yeah,
this
I
is
saw
a
that.
disaster. And then he started naming, and he was right. He's right about the Strait. He's right about, like, it was wild. Like, you have a YT supremacist, a very proud YT supremacist who's like, oh, y'all fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, he's anti-Jewish people, so
Oh,
he
yeah.
doesn't
for sure.
support Israel. But yeah.
Yeah. That guy's a nut job. Anyway, so when's the NATA and when this attack's supposed to begin?
Let's see.
How do they
gas
know they're
prices.
attacking? Hold on. How do they know they're about to attack Qatar Air Base? Did it say?
I think it's speculative. Let's see. Out of an abundance of caution, we recommend American citizens shelter in place until further notice, the embassy said in a notice. State Department had earlier warned U.S. citizens around the world to exercise increased caution. Don't see that this is in response to a direct warning or threat.
Looks like, I mean, it's the biggest air base there, right? Well, I guess we're going to see what this, I mean, this is concerning because it looks like we're going to see I mean, it does. It looks like we're going to see what Iranian tech is made of against U.S. air bases. Because the last time this happened, Iran warned the United States before they struck. I don't think they're going to do the same, to be honest with you.
Nope.
I don't think that they're going to do the same at all. I think that they're going to...
Jasmine Crockett, it was the day, the following day after the kaboomings in Iran. She was streaming on Instagram and she said, you know, I don't want to fearmonger. I don't want you guys to walk around in fear or anything, but just please be smart. Try to avoid large crowds in public, you know, things like that, like concerts and stuff for right now. And you could understand what she was saying, you know, just precaution.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, how is the Olympics going to work out here?
It won't. They should cancel it.
It can't.
They might.
It was Peachy's
Well, I don't know if they'll
birthday
cancel it.
yesterday.
But if they have credible threats, Peachy, happy birthday. I don't think they're going to cancel it, but if they have credible threats, they'll like remove crowds and stuff like that. Oh,
So it's
Peachy,
also,
happy birthday.
isn't it the World Cup? the soccer World Cup, isn't that also
Mm-hmm.
coming? Yeah.
Yeah. I got someone in the requests. Check Al Jazeera. Flares fired over Qatar. Okay. Well, I was about to get fucking serious now. ADHD, Hyperdad, what's up?
No, nothing much. Just based on. Hold on a second. Based on what you guys are talking about, did you guys see the news from the IAEA about the radiation levels from the nuclear sites that were struck? How
Yeah,
there
Tommy read
isn't
about it
any
earlier.
increase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There is talk in some of the non-aligned intelligence circles that satellite imagery shows a ton of tractor trailer units of material and equipment leaving all the struck sites in the 72 hours before the U.S. struck.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
moved it.
So
They knew it was coming. I'm going to guess they've been prepping to move everything for a while.
yes, but the fact that they did it so quickly means that not only did the Pentagon have to do deception on Trump to keep him silent about the strikes, there's also leaks in our intelligence apparatus that Iran is taking advantage of to safeguard critical assets against being struck.
I mean, yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah. Or someone's feeding them the information, which is probably more likely. Like China.
Yeah. Russia, considering how much
Russia,
evidence there
yeah.
is of Russian state hackers getting in behind Doge into every agency that Doge has touched.
Yeah, I think that's a real possibility. 72 hours. I mean, they would have had to have prepped for a while for this, but 72 hours is a short amount of time. The fact that the U.S. didn't pick up on it is shockingly. It's shocking. Number one, even if they had, I don't know that it would have done anything, but they moved everything out. Apparently, Iran is saying it's not even that serious. The damage that was done to Ferdow, that it didn't break or didn't breach very far down. It destroyed surface level infrastructure, but yeah, it looks like they moved everything prior. So now it's the nuclear shuffle in Iran. So how are we gonna find it? Deadly Israeli attacks hit Tehran, South Lebanon, and Gaza. Well, no, this actually might break down into a full-blown war. I'll be real with you.
Yeah.
Feel free to drop me down. I was just coming up to make sure that people were talking about the fact that there's a whole bunch of stuff going on that looks like we have leaks, and that the Pentagon is having to deceive the sitting president in order to not compromise operational security.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming in. I'm going to read it. It looks like there's some updates over Qatar right now, so I'm going to get to that, but appreciate you coming in.
Okay. Have a good day, guys.
Me too. Flares are now visible over Qatar's capital, Doha. It is not immediately known if it is an air defense system or missiles. Loud explosions can also be heard. Uh-oh. It's 11 minutes ago. UK prepared... well, we might be going to war. UK prepared to defend assets and personnel in Middle East. I mean, this might actually...
Uh-oh. What exactly
problem-
would the factions
I don't
in
think
this
so.
war be?
that's the thing.
Besides.
Is I don't... Well, that's the thing I don't know. Because, like, Russia's useless. They can't help. Iran can. The thing that Iran does, and like other countries do, and they know this, is don't get into a conventional war. It's too expensive. Go the alternate route. Go the guerrilla route. And pretty much everyone knows this. So I don't see like factions getting involved in China, but I think the larger concern is, and if it was like a couple years later, I would be far more concerned. I think the thing is, though, is that like if you end up in this big regional conflict in the Middle East and Taiwan gets invaded and you're fighting in two fronts, and then that's a big old deal. So there's those kind of things, but realistically, it's not like the other countries could like mount some sort of Axis powers to fight us on the ground. They would lose. They don't want that. But what they do want is the ability to control shit.
Well, tomorrow, I don't know if you guys mentioned this. Tomorrow is a NATO meeting in the Netherlands. Trump will be there. So he's probably already on his way.
So he's on a plane.
He's on a plane. Maybe that's why they brought the what is that plane called? The Doomsday plane?
B-52 bomber? What was it?
The B-2 is the bomber itself. It's the Doomsday plane where that is like nuke proof.
Oh, yeah.
He's probably traveling on that. That's probably why they flew it into
The
Washington.
E-4B?
Yeah.
How come he's not on the Qatarian plane?
Well, he doesn't have it kitted out for the nukes yet.
No, fly that shit. You were so happy to buy it. Fly it. Get your ass on that bitch.
Get your ass on that thing. What are you doing? Go be forward observer. Now's your time to play hero.
Yeah.
All those
Test
bone
it out.
spurs. Put yourself out there in a burn, and you know, time to make it. You know,
Put that baby to work. Test it out.
yeah, time to redeem yourself.
We got one in
know?
the box.
We're in trouble. Z. Hello.
Hey, thanks for having me up. I wanted to come up because I just wanted to offer the other side because I am in favor of the strike on Iran.
Why?
Well, that's why.
Well, because the question was like, what happened to no new wars? And I guess I wanted to say that like Trump didn't start a war. Like the regional conflict had been happening since October 7th. And so I think that it's not necessarily a new war. There's no like commitment to do anything other than just what he did. And so I think there's a little bit of a general there's a out of proportion response regarding the strike and regarding what has been American involvement so far.
So why do you support it? All things considered, like just
Because
synopsis.
it's not a good. My synopsis is it's not a good thing for the Islamic Republic to have a nuclear weapon. So it is a good thing that Trump bombed the nuclear site so that they don't ever get a nuclear weapon.
That won't
They got
stop them
everything
from-
out.
Yeah.
No, so the whole point about the 60% enriched uranium, there's kind of two things. One is that the enriched uranium is not all the problem. What's actually the problem is the centrifuges and the infrastructure and the knowledge that it takes to get 60% enriched uranium up to 90%, which is what the weapons grade is, and when you can actually turn that into a weapon and put it onto a warhead. So yes, we still need to find the enriched uranium, but if they don't have the ability to enrich it up to 90%, which is what we did by bombing Isfahan and Natanz and also Fordow, then we've accomplished the goal of eliminating their nuclear program.
There's no evidence that we did that though.
So you're saying that we didn't do that? We didn't bomb
We did
Fordow?
bomb them. There's no evidence that anything other than surface structure was destroyed. But also,
We're waiting
you're
for
trying to put this into a
battle.
larger conflict. This is
No,
not
there's
part
definitely
of
evidence
October
that
7th.
I mean, Isfahan and Natanz for sure have both been eliminated completely. That's already been established. We're just waiting for the battle.
Established where?
I mean, all you have to do is go and find it.
One of them,
there's
one
satellite
of them
imagery,
had,
like there's
yeah.
military experts,
So
like,
surface
well-
infrastructure was destroyed, like I said, but there's no evidence anything underground was.
but the only
And on
underground.
top of that, it's
yeah,
not gonna stop
the
them.
only-
The assessments
the only
on this,
underground-
the assessments on this by like nuclear experts, the only way that they're gonna stop the Iran from having a nuclear weapon is if you topple the regime. That's it.
I mean, we're currently on the way towards the regime being toppled, I would say, but nonetheless, the only underground facility was the Fordow facility, but Natanz and Isfahan, the equipment and everything that needed to be destroyed was above ground.
Okay.
So that's right. So we're just waiting for the battle damage the BDA.
Right, but
in
it's
order
not
to
going
go
to stop
confirm.
it. There's the knowledge has been redundancied at this point. There are still the experts that exist.
The knowledge
They
has not
have
been
the-
redundancy. The nuclear scientists have mostly been eliminated, and it's really difficult for them to get access to that
What
type
do
of
you
knowledge
mean?
again.
They literally. What are you talking about? Most of.
I mean, one of the first things that Israel did was eliminate most of the nuclear scientists. If not,
They didn't eliminate most. They have taken out a handful of their top nuclear scientists over the years. There's been 5 assassinations.
No, literally, there have been 19 just in the last week.
19. Where are you getting that from?
Literally everywhere. I'm sorry if you're not following it. I'm sorry, but I can't list off.
cite something?
Literally where?
You can go to most open source OSINT. I mean, this happened this was the first thing that they did. They went after the top IRGC commanders. They went after the top nuclear scientists. This was one of the first things that they did before they ever attacked infrastructure. This was June 12, 13, 14.
You said 19?
At least that's what
Yeah,
maybe it changed over time. I mean, it might have changed over time.
You said 19 nuclear scientists, right? Now
it
you're
could
kind
have
of
been-
adding in, but
I mean, it could have
here's
been.
the thing. Hold on, sir. Can you take a breath? Smell the flowers, right? If it were this easy, how come no other president, even Trump in his first term, how come they never did this? Nobody's done it. If it were this easy.
Yeah, so I'm happy to explain what the difference between the current circumstances now versus basically the other
There's been
circumstances,
5.
or the circumstances over the last, really why the geopolitical circumstances of today made it a lot easier than it had been in the past. And it really has to do with what's happened since October 7th. So since October 7th, because we know that Iran mostly attacks and destabilizes the region through proxies, they don't do a lot of stuff for themselves. Their proxies are the Houthis, the Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Shiite militias in Iraq. And then, of course, you had Assad. Those were their main proxies. As a result,
real quick, a U.S. base in Doha is being attacked by 6 missiles fired by Iran at this very moment.
yeah, that
Might
actually,
as
I'm
well
pretty
get
sure, if I'm not
everybody.
mistaken, that actually got emptied out a few days ago, right?
No,
They had military, they
Qatar?
had personnel.
in Qatar, yeah.
So,
They're not gonna evacuate the entire airbase.
I'm sorry, it was the key personnel out of the embassies. My apologies. So again, going back to what I was saying is that because post October 7th,
What evidence do you have that this is gonna stop it? I think that's the crux of the argument here.
if I can ask, I just want to answer Paige's question, if that's okay, because I want to make sure I get to
Sure.
that. So
Sure.
you had Hamas, which is barely a shell of itself. Hezbollah is also a shell of itself. The Shiite militias in Iraq have basically said that they don't want to get involved anymore. And then, of course, because Hezbollah was significantly weakened, then a lot of they were the main kind of people that were protecting and keeping the Syrian regime, the Assad regime, propped up, because the Syrian army was so detached from actually wanting to protect the Assad regime. So without Hezbollah, Assad was far more weakened, and basically without Syria protecting Iran, that makes it far more easier for Israel to travel across the region over to Iran. And so because all of those things now have fallen, those dominoes have fallen, it has made it far more easier for Israel to take out action like this that was not possible in Trump's first term.
Cool. And this is a very basic question, I know, and it's just rhetorical. We can move on, but this is rhetorical. Then why didn't Israel do it instead of us? They should have done it. They should have taken care of it.
Well, Israel
It's rhetorical. It's rhetorical. I don't care.
Oh, that's a weird thing to. Okay. Well, I'm going to answer it anyways. That Israel doesn't have B-2 bombers, and so America's the only one with the capabilities to take out Fordo.
Yeah, but there's no evidence that we've stopped the program. The assessment by virtually everyone in the nuclear community was that we weren't going to be able to stop them.
So I guess
from
I'm
having
curious,
nukes.
because is the issue that you believe that it should be stopped, but that we shouldn't be the ones to do it, or that it doesn't matter if it's stopped? I'm curious. I don't understand the fundamental argument on your side, or where you are coming
You're
from.
not going to be able to stop it, and we should have used diplomacy. And I think the thing is here that you're categorically missing is, yes, Iran wants a nuclear weapon, but what it wants more is stature in the region. So,
Right, and the way that they
the
get that
original
is-
deal, and just to point out, the whole point here is Trump created this problem by backing out of the Iranian nuclear deal, and
Which
is
was the
now
correct
trying
thing
to
to do.
solve it. No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Why was it correct?
Why
So
was
the
it? No,
JCPO
no, it wasn't. No, it
Yes, it was.
wasn't.
The
Based on
JCPOA
what? Based
So
on
the J-
what?
Okay,
What are
so
you
the
basing that
JCPOA
off of?
I'm going to tell you. the JCPOA was a very, very bad deal. And I can tell you that it was a very bad deal because once it was entered into and all of those sanctions were relieved, they received sanctions relief. We can actually see a correlation between those sanction reliefs and the rise in all of these proxies. That's number one. Number two is inside of the
wait. No, substantiate that.
Okay, so once you had sanctions relieved on Iran, the Iranian economy was far more able to fund their
substantiate it. Substantiate it.
I
don't know what you're talking about. They don't spend an absurd amount of money. Even with sanctions, they were returning $150 billion in GDP. They also have support from China and Russia. Where are you getting that from?
Again,
because otherwise that's just fucking Israeli. Otherwise, it's just fucking Israeli propaganda.
I'm sorry.
It fucking is. Show me a source.
You have not paid attention.
Show me some citations. Show me some citations. Don't do with the ad homs. Show me the citations. Don't do with the ad homs. Show me the citations. You made a claim, substantiate it. I don't know, what do you think? It takes them all this money to fund these proxy groups?
Yes.
Did you also establish the fucking correlation between them, or did you just apply a false correlation and say, well, look, it correlates? Maybe they realize that this works more. Can you show me a citation?
No, I want to hear your argument again. So you're telling me that there isn't a correlation between? Okay. There isn't.
I don't have to prove that there isn't one. You have to prove that there is one.
No,
it's called it's literally called Hitchens razor. You know what Hitchens razor is? You know what Hitchens razor is?
Sure. What has happened in the last 10 years?
Can you substantiate the claim that you made and not obfuscate and pivot? I don't know who you think I am or why I would allow you. I don't need you to ask me anything. I don't need you to ask me a goddamn thing. Did anybody hear me? I didn't ask for a question. I asked you to answer what I just said.
What citation would you be looking for exactly?
You said that there was a correlation between sanctions ending and funding going and funding going up, and I'm wondering where the fuck you would even get that from, because just from the basic, literally common sense, you're telling me that it went up as soon as the sanctions ended. That deal was in place for what, a year and a half?
Yes.
And then they went up under Trump when they had some of the most severe sanctions. So you're trying to say, well, they went up after that deal went in. Could I not say that they funded it more because Donald Trump sanctioned them to that degree? Find me a citation. You blew some fucking Israeli propaganda out your ass on my live, and then when I call you out and tell you to show me it, I didn't say everything. I said this is. Don't fucking obfuscate the point. You made some shit up that was literally came out of the mouth of Bibi, and I asked you for a citation on it, and instead of being like, okay, I'll go and find one, you're sitting here arguing with me about it. And the reason being is because it doesn't exist. It's not possible. That deal was in half for what, a year and a half? Everything after that was incredible sanctions. And despite the sanctions, hold on, hey, despite the sanctions, Iran has cranked up their proxy funding. They've had the most severe restrictions on them, and they cranked up their funding. So I want a citation for that.
Okay, so I don't have one right now. So what I will tell you is this. Hold on a sec. Hold on, dude. I will tell you this.
Well, can you find one?
Hold on. Wait, just give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. After the live, I will make a video. As you can see, I have 33,000 followers.
I don't want a video. I want you to pause. I want you to pause and go find. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait, bud. Listen, I don't want to wait. I want you to go find the source. We don't need to go where you're going to go through a video where you can't be questioned on whatever bullshit you pull out of your ass. I'm asking you, please go find a source. They do this. They fucking do this. This is literally like, and by the way, I've been a content creator for a long time, so I know how people respond. They literally will take, this is exactly what they'll do. He'll make a video pointing out a single point, not addressing a single thing I say, and then like, they inundate the video. So they put a ton of shit in the video so that it's like, I can't make a response to this in a video, right? Like I have to do this long form ass thing trying to debunk every single point, or he'll point to a single thing and then never fucking respond again. Just find the citation for it, for the love of God.
Yeah, because what he would do is he would come, like, say he would go find something and come back, and it would just be confirmation bias. Now he's pressured to actually, like, not do that because it'll embarrass you, Silver. I just think it's propaganda, what he's yapping right now.
I'm looking at...
Like, from what I've read, and most recently, you need 90% HEU, like enriched uranium, to make that a kaboom, right? Over 90%. Of course, the other parts, yeah, that needs to be there as well. But if it's last, like, recorded at 62%, it's weird. It's just propaganda, in my opinion.
I'm looking for like a yearly. I don't think they have like a yearly. They show a tax, but they don't show funding.
Chris, thank you for the 5. Sorry, I'm busy following this story right now.
Yeah, my assumption here would be as like one of two things, and this you would have to navigate this, right? One, you would have to navigate the fact that, like, you would have to navigate the fact that if, how would I put this? So one is the increase correlation relative to like their goals, ambitions, whatever. So you would have to like prove that, because just saying that this deal was the cause of it is creating a causal chain. You would have to address that in a pretty substantial way, because a lot of times, right, like it'd be like if I was like, Trump came into office and we watched the amount of Russian spending on bot farms skyrocket. Therefore, Trump is a Russian asset. That would be illogical, right? Because it also could be, which is true, that Russia found out that this works. They found out it works real well. They have less things to do elsewhere and have allocated the money. Saying this is a correlation is fucking crazy. And I just want to point out how fucking batshit bozo it is. Like, really, 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 really nutso behavior. Like, to be like, oh yeah, well, they're funding, it's a bad deal to prevent them from having nuclear weapons because they're funding groups that don't. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they're terrible for funding all this. Is like this weird thing that they do where they're like, this is terrible that they're funding for this. And so we should stop. We should allow them to have nuclear weapons. You know, like it logically doesn't
That's an
track.
interesting trade-off.
Right. Well, we don't want them to have. We don't want the Houthis to have drones, so let's allow Iran to have nukes.
That'll teach them.
That'll teach them. They won't know what hit them. Nah, here's a bullshit.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. More propaganda.
So my apologies. The sanctions, what happened was that when Biden offered the sanctions relief, once he came in, because you were right that because the JCPOA was only in for a year to a year and a half, it didn't really have time for them. Then the sanctions went back in during Trump's time. However, Biden came back in, and instead of going back into the JCPOA, he just gave sanctions relief, offered $6 billion in unfrozen assets, and that is when we ultimately...
He went off the app.
Okay.
Reddit's pretty busy. We get it. If you can't see us, we can't hear you, Silver. Just so you know. I just think it's weird that they have the capability to kaboom directly into an apartment on the like 6th floor to take out a general in Iran, but they can't do what the states did. It's ridiculous. We understand. Israeli government, we get it. Your strategy is to just carpet bomb.
So I have it here.
We get that.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
So this is a...
Silver, once again, you're gonna have to write it down or memorize it. We can't. If you don't see us, we cannot hear you.
Oh, my bad. Let me take some screenshots, and then you can make me big. So 1 second.
What? Okay. I didn't agree to that, but all right.
Hey guys, we know about the Qatar military base strike, just so you know. We know.
Where is he getting this? I don't know. Yeah, we're aware of the attack.
Yeah. Can you make it? Can you make me big, and I can put my screen up?
Can you show us what you're going to show first?
All right, 1 second. Where's the green screen? I thought I... Why can't I do a green screen here? Oh,
Jump scare.
Yeah.
All right, this is like
Nice house.
literally like
And me.
Papa trying to figure out how to work a phone. Like those of you who are on TikTok or over on YouTube, he like keeps pressing the camera in the wrong direction. I don't know, he keeps changing the camera angle. He flipped the screen and then
Go
why don't
to,
you just say what your source is?
Yeah, or write it down. But if you go to camera, it pulls up effects, push up on the arrow, go to green screen, touch the green screen. I'm doing it right now. And then go touch the plus sign. And then select your thing.
By the way, there's a Venmo Cash App in the bio if you guys want to support the channel. You can sub on any one of the platforms, including TikTok. All right, well, I'm going to let him figure this out. We'll come back to this. You can sub over on Patreon in the link tree in the bio. Yeah, we have a 20 sub goal in the morning. We have 2 out of 20. So, we need to crank this up. We need 18 more subs. If you guys sub over on TikTok, it is 2, by the way. Trying to wait for this guy to figure it out. I'm about to move on because I got a bunch of people in the requests.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't
Silver.
notice.
Can you just tell us that the name of the article that you're referring to in the website?
It's a Foundations for Defensive Democracy analysis.
Foundations
Jason,
of what?
appreciate it. Thank you. Jason, appreciate it. Thank you for
Yeah,
the
the
10
Foundations for
gifted. Can we get
Defensive
some?
Democracy is a think tank.
Of course. Jason, appreciate it. Thank you for the 10. Can we get some dubs and drumsticks in the chat? If you guys got a sub with that, hit him with a heart or dubs. What's the name of the source? The Foundation.
Okay, what's the name of the article? Yeah.
The Foundations for the Defense of
Foundation of
Democracy.
Defense.
How Biden helps Iran pay.
What's the name of the article?
How Biden helps Iran pay for its terror by refusing to enforce current sanctions. Here I can. Yeah.
The Foundation for Defense of Democracies is a neocon 501 nonprofit think
See, this
tank
is why
based
it's
in
ridiculous
DC.
to come up with citations, right? As soon
It
as
is
you come
a
up with
pro-
the citation is wrong. Like,
Really quick, it is described as a pro-Israel, anti-Iran lobbying group due to its focus and opposition to the 2015 nuclear deal. Really
not
sounds like you
nonpartisan.
found a credible, and it does sound like you're going to read me an opinion piece. It's like, you know. So what's the name of the article? You can chill
How
out for a
Biden helped
second.
Iran
I know.
pay for its
Listen,
terror.
listen. There'll be plenty of time to lick the boot of Bibi. All
I knew
right.
it.
There'll be
this is why
plenty
it
of
doesn't
time.
make
I
sense. It's
promise.
Okay. Here's what I'm
promise
gonna do. I'm
you.
gonna make the video for you. I'm gonna have multiple arguments, and then
You ain't gonna do shit. You're gonna read me the thing, or you're gonna go.
I was
you got the
trying to, but
source?
you didn't like the source I came up with.
Oh, it's partisan.
I'm looking for the source. Yeah, it's partisan, but what's the source?
Iran foot the bill for its aggression, including.
All right, get the fuck out of my life. I'm good. I don't need another BB bootlicker. To be honest with you, I'm good.
This is a short article. And it was forwarded by the New York Post.
What is the name of the article?
This is funny. How Biden helps Iran pay for its terror by refusing to enforce current sanctions.
Okay, so this is opinion piece.
Yeah, you'll see how the way it's structured, that it's not very worded.
Yeah, what the hell is this, dude? No, this is actually embarrassing, dude. It's literally like double spaced. It's a page, maybe a page and a half. It goes. It's very. By the way, this is always how you can tell
This
it's
is an
bullshit.
opinion
President
piece.
Biden has. This is an opinion piece, by the way. President Biden has spent 3 years in office, making it clear to Tehran's terrorist regime that America won't make it pay any price to attack, whatever, bankroll, and it's just basically an anti-Biden shit. In fact, refusing to enforce sanctions, Biden for the growth for the 45 years in power. Each year since Biden took office, Iran has steadily increased oil exports, its most lucrative revenue source. Iran oil production per day. Oh, oil's about to go up, by the way. They produce 4.3 million barrels a day.
Gulp.
So what's that work out to in... Let's see. They're selling it at a discount, too, I'd be willing to bet. What's oil right now? $70 a barrel? So it's going to be... They make $300 million a day. They're not selling it at that price, by the way.
Here.
So...
76.82 per barrel.
They're going to be selling it probably lower than that.
Did he run?
What was that thing, man?
He got kicked.
Wait, I just Google it. Iran GDP. It's 404 billion is their GDP.
Guys, we know about the Qatar nullified kabooming. We know about it.
67 billion. It's a pretty sizable portion of their economy, but points out that, oh, well, they're selling more oil. Well, yeah, they were allowed to move oil. By the way, because we needed to, I just want to point this out. We needed to lower oil prices. And so one of the things that our government and Western governments allow is Iran at times to sell that oil to our markets to help alleviate oil prices. It's something that's done very regularly, where they're just sort of like, we'll just ignore the sanctions.
Is it true that
basically-
20%? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're right.
I was just saying, is it true that the 20% of the global oil goes through the Strait? Is that true?
Probably. Or the Suez Canal, probably. I'd imagine.
I don't know.
It's probably a lot, yeah. Wait, really quick. Let me see. So the whole thing about this, so their oil production, we're talking about 1 million barrels per day, so maybe $10 billion or so a year. Maybe 25 billion or something like that. This is total from relaxed sanctions. Maybe 20 something billion. I only have up to 2020 where it dropped off from the Trump sanctions, reducing their oil production by like 20%. So maybe like 25 billion. That's what it's talking about. They don't need that 25 billion to fund Hezbollah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Gas is about to get really expensive, Waterbug. So you guys go fill up your gas. Like,
yeah.
it's gonna get ugly. I saw an estimate was $8 to $9 per gallon. So somewhere like California, you guys are
This is...
gonna hurt.
I'll just finish up on this about this article. This article doesn't actually draw any sort of, literally any sort of correlation between Biden and funding. I just want to point that out. Just that, well, he allowed them to export more oil, so that's what did it. That's not correlational. This is an opinion piece. It's actually really sad. The whole thing is like maybe a page and a half or 2 pages double spaced, and it might be small because it's like kind of squished like this. But no, this is not a source.
Yeah, someone found his other socials, and he's very Zio on that social account of his, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. All right. Do we have any debates? Trey, I don't think meant to join. Anyway, we got anybody that wants to hop on in the box and debate? Would appreciate it. There were more people that jumped in earlier. This is painful.
Hmm.
It's painful.
Yeah.
We got, yeah. So it looks like an attack is underway. He called it a spectacular military success. What a loser.
Even though they moved everything out 72 hours in advance. Did we happen to save that old banner, the mission accomplished one from Bush? It's got to be in storage somewhere, right? You hang that up behind him.
I'm tired, Grandpa. That's
That's
too
too
damn
damn
bad.
bad.
Iran launches blast herd over Doha. Doha's tried to be. This is like an actual. This is a serious escalation, by the way, because Doha tries to be the mediator, and frequently meets various different groups to be the mediator across the Middle East. Do we have video yet? Attack.
Yeah, there's
Iranian
video.
Revolutionary Guards confirm attack.
Who's this? Hello?
1 second. Your audio's not great. Is there a way you can fix that?
Is that better?
No.
I'm in a truck, so I'm trying. There's not much I can do.
You driving?
No.
I'm not driving. I'm riding.
Okay, well, here, call back in when you're not in the car or on the phone or anything like that. So we do have a no phones policy, but flares were seen over Doha. Isn't good. Doha tries to be the mediators. The fact that Iran's attacked them, I'm sure that they talked, but this is not going to go well. I really think it's interesting. I don't think this is going to spark World War III, to be honest with you. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think so. I don't think so. And they're like, who would the factions even be? I don't know. I don't know. No one would really be involved. I think it would be a larger regional conflict. Israel and Iran just trading shots back and forth. Geographically, it's not very possible for either of them. I want to see how Iraq is reacting. Iraq is a very unstable country, all things considered.
I wonder what caused that.
Really has never really recovered. More of a country than Afghanistan was, but a U.S. bases in Qatar and Iraq. I think the interesting thing here is did Iran tell them they were gonna shoot? Do we have video footage yet? Because is it on Twitter or anything? The reason I ask is because, like, if Iran told the U.S. they were going to shoot, which they have done in the past, so that basically it's like, this is called kinetic diplomacy, right? So essentially what is called kinetic diplomacy. And essentially, Iran wants to trade shots with the U.S., but they want minimal damage. The whole thing is just a show, like, it's a show of force, right? Because realistically, Iran has been hindered to a degree in their ability to enrich uranium, but it's not going to stop them fully, right? It didn't do anything. The attack didn't do anything, right? So they're going to be able to. So for the calculation is here. Yeah, we got hit. Yeah, it looks like we're weak on our part or whatever, but we could also retaliate in a way that doesn't harm American lives. So it doesn't put us in the crosshairs, but it looks really strong to everybody involved, right? It gives it's just puffing your chest out. And this is par for the course. One side puffs their chest out, the other one puffs it back. Nobody really gets hurt, and then they just go, huh, and then they move on. We saw something similar with Trump last time where he killed Soleimani. Iran responded by calling the U.S. and being like, we're going to bomb your base. In that instance, they were very upset about Soleimani. Don't get me wrong. But they had to make a show of force. Their calculation, even in that moment where they should have been beyond furious, and they were, they still showed restraint. Right? So in this instance, it would be interesting to know if they warned the United States. Attacking an airbase, though, is a different story, because there is expensive infrastructure on the ground, right? In Iraq, they just bombed outside the complex where they sleep. Granted, there was obviously injury done to a lot of U.S. citizens, or a lot of U.S. soldiers, so I don't want to take away from that. But they're trying to show up as restrained. I don't know what their calculation was here. If they called in and were like, we're going to do this, that would indicate to me very clearly, which we won't know this, by the way. Maybe we will. Trump will probably bolster it or something. That indicate to me very clearly that they have no intention of trading shots back and forth. It would not surprise me if they've called in, because ultimately they didn't lose anything. They didn't lose anything.
So we were warned, and I put it in the mod chat. I know you don't have an X account, but I put a screenshot of the video of the kaboom
pull it
storm.
up. They were warned.
We were warned. What's his name? Hold on. Keith Edwards. He tweeted about it.
Iran gave a 12-hour heads up before launching its missile attack on U.S. bases stationed in Qatar. No casualties are expected. Yeah, so this is, like I said, this is what's called kinetic diplomacy. Like, Iran, the smart calculation for them is to just puff their chest because they didn't lose anything. They didn't lose anything. So, they're going to be hindered to some degree. This won't continue, though, to be honest with you. The United States gets to go, look at, we destroyed something, and they're going to have nuclear missiles here. I don't even know if they want nuclear. What they really are vying for is larger regional control. And I think that they've seen with North Korea how we can shut them off and sanction them, and I don't think that that's something that they want. So, we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated. Make sure you're checking out the TikTok videos, because I update over there. I am going to call it for the morning, but if you guys want to go ahead and sub on your way out, I would appreciate it. It does help get people in here, and obviously we have 1,000 people in here now, so that's good. I am going to head out. I'll be back live at 6 p.m. Pacific. I have a ton of stuff to do today, and yeah.
All right, take care. See you later,
guys. Is there anybody to raid?
Can we raid? Yeah, Mel's live. Ethan Baum is live.
Santana's live.
Santana's live. Yeah.
Let's raid Mel. Mel was having some issues with viewership, right?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, let's raid Mel.
All right.
Nothing against Ethan. Ethan's great. Nothing against Santana. They're all great. Yeah, we can raid Mel. Mel does a lot, so. All right, guys. Couple of things before I go. Videos going to be coming back over onto YouTube on both channels here real quick. So keep an eye out for it. Just getting all those updated, and yeah. So there's that. It will be content pumping out on a regular on TikTok, on YouTube. So go check out both the channels over in the link tree in the bio, and I'll see you guys tomorrow or tonight. Sorry.